Welcome back to the Growth Guide. Today we have Seth Goldstein. Seth is an entrepreneur, founder, podcaster, father and husband, as well as a social media junkie. Seth, thank you so much for joining me today.
How's it going? It's Keegan, right?
Yeah.
I got it right. Yeah, your first time. Woohoo! That's always a good thing.
Yeah, we'll do a little warmer now. We were talking before the episode, how about it was here in Calgary, it was like minus 40, minus 50 over the past weekend. So
Which we learned is
that we're
40 negative is 40 negative in Fahrenheit too. So the more you know, right?
Exactly. So, because correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been in digital marketing now for, is it 15 or 16 years?
16 years as of November.
So, what have you seen change in the digital landscape since you started?
Oh my God, what hasn't changed? Oh my God. The iPhone came out. Social media started. I mean, Twitter started 2007 in South by Southwest. Twitter has since imploded. So its life cycle. I've seen Twitter launch and die in for better for worse, I mean, literally, SEO has gone the gamut. I mean, it's gone from everywhere, like keyword stuffing to no keyword stuffing to exact match domain names to stuff that has nothing to do with any of that and just all AI. And now we're trying to figure out how to get mentioned in ChatGPT when you search for a source. So that's an interesting point now.
So in regards to the SEO side, kind of over the past 5 years, what are kind of like the more technical things that have changed for people to start actually ranking on the terms that they want to?
Yeah. So it started out when you could just 5 years ago was 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago was exact match domain name. So like it would have been like contractor in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And you would get Doylestown, contractor in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. You get ranked for that very easily. Google realized that, well, that was stupid. We got to block that. So now everyone with those domain names are stuck with that. But now it's more technical. It's more, you want to still get the links back, but now you can actually get mentioned without a link, and Google will still connect the dots, which is really neat. So you could say, Keegan Carthy, founder of your agency, says X, and you don't get a link, which you used to fight saying, well, can you link me, please? No, it doesn't matter anymore. They're going to Google will figure out who the heck you are, where to put you.
100%.
That's as of this year, I think, or last month.
Something I've noticed a bit too, like at least on the personal branding side, like more knowledge panels are starting to get triggered just from people just showing a social media presence, even without any web content. Like myself as an example, like I have next to no blog content, like a handful of guest posts, if that. But it's like I'm very active on social media. I get good engagement. The content is good because people are engaging with it, like I just said.
Yeah.
But we're pretty much right there for a knowledge panel. So it's going back to your point. Google is smart enough now that it'll figure out where to put you and where to drive the user.
I mean, I'm still a big proponent of owning your content. I was just on another podcast earlier today where we talked about, I recently posted in my Marketing Junto newsletter about, for crying out loud, own your content. I'm a very big proponent of, yes, post your stuff on social media, but also have it on a blog. Also have it downloading on a regular basis. Make sure that, because, LinkedIn can think you're spamming, which happened to me, and you're not. You're trying to secure it, make it more secure, and the robot decides you're a bad person, and you're out for 48 hours. So, I'm a very big proponent of owning your content first, and then repurposing it elsewhere. So,
for sure. So you mentioned a little bit about trying to get mentioned in like ChatGPT. So can you dive a little bit more into the AI implementation in digital marketing?
Yes. AI is great. I mean, it's not in the current iteration, it's going to take over the world. This is not Skynet, folks. It's spicy autocorrect on steroids, meaning that, and I don't claim to come up with that term. I think Leo Laporte and Jeff Jarvis on the Twit Network came up with that term. I just tend to like it. AI is great for getting you started. So if you need a blog post, 500 words about X, it'll give you something. but my God, you have to rewrite it. It writes like a fifth grader. It writes like my son, who's in fifth grade. And it says, in conclusion, in summary, it's just like, no, people don't write like that. So you take the content and you remove it around, you put your own flavor to it. But AI in marketing is going to cut down on the time it takes to come up with content. Like if I need an image for a blog post, I'm not going to go get a photographer to go take this photo for me. I can go to Adobe Stock, grab a stock photo, great. Or I can come up with something more creative and use Dolly or Midjourney and throw it together that way and have something that's clearly AI. Or even if it's not clearly AI, close to being AI with, 6 fingers. And, they don't know fingers yet. They're getting better. But you're able to use AI to augment your work, not take over your work.
100%. And I think you're spot on with that. It's not here to take over the world. We're not all going to be out of jobs, in my opinion, anytime soon. It's just there to help people perform the monotonous tasks and just help aid with certain things. That's where we're at right now.
Yes, absolutely. You're spot on, buddy.
So with SEO and digital marketing as a whole, I've found a lot of business owners, without an agency, if they've been burned before, want to do it themselves, whatever, they struggle to stay on top of it. What would your advice be?
Just keep going. I mean, literally set yourself reminders in your calendar and say, every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., I'm doing content.
Mm-hmm.
And just do it. And then send it over to someone like Keegan to repurpose, or send it over to someone like me to blast out the things and whatnot. But Keegan, I did my research on you beforehand. You do great work. I mean, it's not, trying to promote yourself, but you do great work. And repurposing content to small, the bite-sized chunks. Mm-hmm. Just get content together, and then get to the young whippersnappers like Keegan who love to do this stuff, and have him make something of it. I mean, it's the perfect business model, in my opinion.
100%. And with that too, it's for anybody listening that doesn't know where to start, you just have to start. It's like anything in life. The best way to figure stuff out is by failing. And in marketing, like when we run campaigns for our clients or whatever, like I'm trying to fail. Like I want to find the winners. So the faster I lose, the faster we find the ones that win.
Fail fast is the term. Yeah.
Exactly. So one of the questions that was on your profile, it was talking about social media. Why does that need to be distributed across rented media? Can you just talk about rented media as a whole, and then why does that need to be distributed across?
Well, when you think about it, you have to know where your ICP is, mm-hmm. your individual customer profile, and you need to know where they are, where they play. But they might play on LinkedIn if you're B2B, but they may also be on Instagram, and they may also be on Mastodon. They might be on Threads. They might be on a number of different places, Alignable for that matter. And you need to kind of spread your content out and make sure that, TikTok, for example, TikTok and YouTube Shorts, you can usually repurpose that stuff around a little bit. But other stuff, I put TikTok stuff on LinkedIn and it converts just fine. But it's distributing it so people can find you where they want to find you. It's not about you, it's about them.
100%. And if anybody is like, that's too much time, whatever, you can hire a virtual assistant from wherever in the world for $3-4 an hour that can do that all day for you.
Yeah. And they love it. And that's a lot for them. And it's $3 or $4 for them. Don't feel bad. In the Philippines, $3 or $4 is more like $20.
Exactly. It's above the minimum wage, at least in my country, in Canada. And so it's a lot of times I've been like, friends are like, oh, what do you pay your employees? I'm like, $5 US an hour. They're like, oh, that's nothing. I'm like, well, if you do the math, you do the conversion rate, like they're making good money. They live a good life.
Yeah, like seriously. I mean, you look at landscapers in America. They're coming out from South America. Their kids are going to private school. Mm-hmm. They're getting paid $15 an hour, and it's like that's nothing for the grueling work they do. They send that money back to Mexico, to Argentina, wherever they're coming from, and those kids are living the good life.
100%, absolutely. So with social media, where do you see it going in the next kind of few months to kind of the next couple of years?
I would have said before Elon took over Twitter and we were before the pandemic, I would have had a better answer on where the hell everything's going. I have no idea. I think Threads is going to federate with the metaverse. Meta is going to federate with the Fediverse terms. I think that, you know, things are going to federate more. Things are going to be more interoperable, ideally. I think LinkedIn might buy Alignable, I think Alignable, which is more of a local US, Canada, local business LinkedIn competitor, I think they're going to be bought eventually by LinkedIn because they have a specific niche that LinkedIn can't seem to capture, is the small businesses. And it's vibrant right now. And I'm shocked that, 5 years ago, Alignable was garbage. And now it's like really doing well. They do have their geographic areas a little too tight. Like there's Doylestown Borough, there's Doylestown, and then there's these little towns all around. Now, those little towns all around don't need their own communities. They can all be part of Doylestown. So I'm gonna have a call with them. I'm like, guys, like Dublin, Pennsylvania, which is a very small little hamlet, has like 5 people in the community, which is like 10 minutes up the road. It's like, no, combine these into like Central Bucks region.
Yeah.
It's just, but overall, I think that there are going to be more niche social media sites out there. Like Mastodon, you can have your own server and run your own instance of it and connect to everybody else on there. Like mine is s3th.me, and that's my own little instance of Mastodon that I control. I set the moderation policies, which are none because it's just me on there. So it's good. I mean, but to tell you where things are going to be in the next month, I have no idea.
And I think that's a big misconception. A lot of marketers like to think that they can predict everything. Yeah, whether it's trends, whether it's like looking at a batch of creatives, it's like we were talking about earlier, you need to fail and need to fail fast because that's when you'll understand what actually works.
Amen. Exactly.
So to end off, I always like to ask one question on entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How has entrepreneurship changed your outlook on life?
Oh, I love this because I do a podcast on entrepreneurship, so it's kind of funny. And it's kind of the question I've asked sort of like that too. But it's scary as crap. But it is fun, rewarding, and you have to fail fast. You have to be willing to pivot and change things up and all that. But the outlook on life, I'm able to be home. My kid's home today because we don't know how to deal with snow in Pennsylvania. I mean, in Calgary, I'm sure it's like, oh, it's 5 feet of snow. Oh, whatever. Go get to school.
Yeah, going to hockey.
Yeah, we had like 5 inches and they canceled school today. I'm like,
oh my god.
5 inches. I mean, granted, it's icy, but like in the back roads in the country are bad. But I'm like, put chains on the tires and get going, guys. Come on. But ultimately, I'm able to be home for my kid when he's home, which is nice. And I'm able to have the freedom to freak out about where the heck money's coming from. So,
100%. No, entrepreneurship, like it's scary. It's
and you're young, so you have a long time. But you're doing it at the right time to do it. Is to play with it. You can always get a job and do it on the side hustle. You can always pivot. Like I'm 42. I'm like, no one wants to hire me now. I'm too set in my ways. So.
No, 100%. It's like that's another underrated thing. If anybody's listening, you're a little bit younger. My advice is to bet on yourself, gain the skills, gain the knowledge, because then even if you go flat broke, can't get a client to save your life, you have the opportunity to get a really good job because you have those skills and actual experience. And
I would hire people because they were entrepreneurs first, because they think outside the box.
100%. I have a really good working relationship with a big marketing firm here in Calgary, and it's every time I go in, like, because we're working on a few clients together, it's like I would hire you in a heartbeat if you went, like I just said, if you went flat broke or if you wanted a job or whatever. And it's never thought that
nice feeling to have. It's a nice feeling to have.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, Seth, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
We really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Keegan.